Alright, Instagram, it's been 3 at night, and I know so many of you are sleeping right now, but the point of time when I'm going to upload this video, I hope so many of you are awakened and watching my content. So, I was reading a book right now, and that is Mastery. So many of you don't have physical version because I'm a Kindle guy. Now, why I suddenly decided to make this video, the question is this. This book takes me away. Its intro is like fucking amazing, and I just wanted to share this really great content with you people, and this is the reason why I'm so excited to share what this book is about. Now, what this book is about, Mastery. Mastery is about being the best at what you did, or being the 1 percentile, or 1%, not 1%, the world-class performer at your segment. Now, what mastery really trying to say? The question needs to be this. Mastery starts with understanding your true calling. Now, what is true calling? Robert Greene gave examples of 2 really great people which ever born in history of human race, and that is Leonardo da Vinci and an example of Albert Einstein. Now, what Leonardo da Vinci has his true calling. He used to belong from an affluent family, but due to some religious issue he don't have any kind of segment where he can go and study things along the way. So what happens is that he used to go to nature and start observing things in a whole lot closer way, the birds and the trees and every single small animal or big animal or mountains. He wanted to know that how things work, right? And eventually what ended up happening is that his dad used to work in some kind of accounting firm, so he used to, so not firm, some accounting job. So he has a benefit, and the leverage is that he used to have reach to papers, and papers are going to be as precious as gold at that point of time. So he end up like stealing pages from his dad's office and go back to nature and start painting, sketching every single thing, which is, and that sketching will considerable like the birds, the trees, the grasses, and everything. So what end up happening is that Leonardo da Vinci makes some really great paintings, and that merit led him to some great universities as scholarship. He started studying there, but that true calling came back to him. He actually wanted to understand how every single thing works, but for that he used to have skill sets like engineering, architecture, and philosophy, psychology, and everything like that. So he started reading every single segment which is available at that point of time, and what ended up happening is that he'll start figuring out how things work, how they are wired, and end up being the best philosopher, painter, engineer of his era, right? The second example is about like Albert Einstein, right? As Robert Greene has given. What Robert told that is, he used to be a kid. His dad eventually came to him, and on his birthday gave him a compass, that direction like equipment for which people are like, I hope so many of you understand what is compass. So what end up is that when Einstein look onto that compass, he find that the needle was automatically moving, and he was like stunned that what the fuck is happening, brother? Not this reaction, it's my reaction. Now, what ended up happening is that he was like, what the heck is happening? So he eventually get curious that there are so many invisible forces available in the nature which can so powerful that they can move physical appearances, right? And he came to know later that it was a magnetic force which helps in moving compass, but he dedicated his entire life in figuring out those invisible forces which impacts the physical environment, and end up giving some of the really great theories such as black holes and theory of relativity. Like, and this is the reason his actual calling was not science or black holes or relativity, but actual calling was figuring out every single invisible forces which are available in the world that can impact us in a greater extent, right? Now, from this introduction, what Robert actually trying to speak is that if you wanted to be like the best at your segment, the best, right, you have to figure out or starts with your own calling, not someone else's calling or not something which is fancy available in the market, but your own calling. And you have to look back to your childhood to understand what is your true calling. Now, why he is forcing that, why childhood you need to look on for those callings, is because when we end up growing, we started measuring skill sets from multiple perspective, and those perspective will be like a greater extent of money how we gonna make from that skill set, how long lastable that skill set is, how viable that skill set is, and so many segment, and we'll end up eventually, okay, this much money I'm gonna make from this skill set, this long I'm gonna like acquire this skill set. And this is the reason we come up like, okay, this is a skill set like programming, like search engine optimization, like public speaking. We started mastering communication, persuasion, but it's not your true calling, you know. You have to understand that it's not your true calling. It's something which you found fancy and hence come up with that. But when we used to be childhood, we don't know such so many metrics, so we end up get drive towards stuffs which we're really interested about. And this is how we'll find out the true calling which is calling us. So if you wanted to like master any skill set, you have to reflect your entire life back then and figure out what is your true calling. So this book is like insane. I've ended up like reading 33% of the book, and there are so many great concepts. And if you haven't followed me yet, do fucking follow me down, and I'm gonna come up with some golden nuggets. Take care.